All right, so now that it's being recorded on here, let's see what Facebook Live look like. Hold up, might be I don't know if I can do Facebook Live. Oh, there we go.
You
Facebook.
doing Facebook Live?
I'm going there now. Facebook Live. See what happens. All right,
All right.
so it should be Facebook Live, and then we can start talking about that. So it should be Facebook Live right now. So here we are, Dynamic Dads, even if it's not Facebook Live. So what? We just run with it regardless. We just take this and then we'll put it up somewhere later. How about that?
How about
So
it?
so how about his Dynamic Dads and Magnificent Moms, our first connection meeting talking about the baby boy syndrome. So we're just gonna get right into it. We're gonna go into some deep issues. We're gonna talk about why are those boys still baby boys? Why are these grown men 35, 23, still living in mama's basement? Josephine, what you think about that? He's still living in mama's basement and he walking around talking about, hey, baby. But he can't even go to his own house because he ain't got his own house.
Well, that's a quite a touchy subject because different cultures see it as different things. I have two sons, and I myself have thought about, did I raise baby boys? Did I coddle and enable my sons to become codependent and cripple them? And I, as we've sat back and had these difficult conversations, they've sat and told me, no, you taught us to be critical and independent thinkers. So the thing about the baby boy syndrome is it comes from multiple levels. It comes from when there's no dad in the house. And it comes from some mothers. Notice I said some and not all, so don't everybody come and try
You better
attack me.
you better just say some because I know it's not all of them out there now. So don't be getting
You're
nobody
right,
in no
right, right,
category.
right. Look, I don't want to have to go into the witness protection program. It comes from some women when they say, now you're the man of the house. Notice now, I'm sure you've heard that being said, and I, in error, have told my son, my oldest son, that too, that they're the man of the house. So that's like almost asking them to replace their spouse or mate or whatever, not in a
So so you saying the moment you give them that title that you are the man of the house, you have set the groundwork for them to become this baby boy.
in a sense. Have you? I'm sure you already you watched that movie, Baby Boy. Have you? Now, how many times have you seen that? How many times have you sat and broken down that movie?
I mean, I can't remember the number of times because I watched it so many times, 3 or 4 different times. Each time I get something different out of it because I understand the concept of what's going on. And I'm sure a lot of people out there do the same thing. They understand the concept. That's why they keep watching it because they want to see something different about it. But a lot of times it's reality, and they try to figure how can I get this whip out of my house.
Right. The reason why it was difficult to get him up out of the house, Jody up out of the house, was because she laid down the what's the word I want to use? She laid down the guidelines for Jody to remain in the house. She made it comfortable. She made it easy for him. And I understand about moms wanting to help their sons, not wanting their sons to be out there in the street and doing bad. But we must also, as they're growing up, give their sons the principles and instill with them what they need when they get out there in the street, and not in our need, make it easy for them to remain in the house. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I definitely understand that.
So as moms, we have to accept our part in what we do as we cripple our young men. So we can't say, we can't blame it on the deadbeat dads. It's not all their faults. I know for whatever reasons they left the home. They went to prison. They ADC, dad cut out. But we have to accept our role as women as how we have contributed to the crippling of our young men.
But
And continue.
I'm trying to figure out where we get the origin of baby boy. How did that even come into existence?
You know what? I can't even really answer how baby boy. That's just a term of endearment, I want to say. How did we start calling our son's baby boy? Because you know what? I still call my youngest son my baby boy. You know, I still call my oldest son baby, my big baby. So that's something that we may have to change the narrative ourselves, because my sons are 31 and 29, 6'7" and 6'3". They ain't nowhere near no babies. They're
Well,
big grown men.
yeah, and the reason why I said that because we got to talk about the words, how words and have so much meaning in our community as well. Words, and when we give that title and we give that person that title that they are this and they are that, they actually grab onto it and hold on to it. It's like when we talked about the words being a nigger. Now they knew they wasn't niggas coming over here. Half of them couldn't even understand what they were saying. The master was saying because they still had their dialogue from Africa. So a lot of times they didn't even understand what nobody was talking about. They didn't understand the English language. But then after a while, it became a normal thing for them to hear, and they started accepting the word nigger. You a nigger. You know, we're going way back into wordplay, but I'm just saying that over time we have continued to bring up different words and put into our society and in our community. And a lot of people have gravitated to using those words for everything but anything to get them past or get them over. And the baby boy syndrome that we're talking about today, a lot of men know they ain't no more baby boys, but they carry that for an excuse to get things when they go meet these other ladies. They think, okay, I'm my mama's baby's boy, I'm my mama's favorite boy. You know, I'm the favorite in the family. She loved me some me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the baby of the family. So she loved the baby. And they continue to think that mindset that every woman should love the baby. They even have
That's true.
they even have what the basketball stars call them on TV. They grown men playing basketball, Big Baby. That was his nickname, Big Baby. Proud of it because he made a name out of himself with Big Baby.
So you're saying we need to change the narrative of how we refer to our men. We need to affirm them in a different manner as they matriculate or as they mature. You saying that with each stage of development, our terms of endearment should change.
Most definitely, most definitely. When we got young boys, like we talk about in the beginning, how it's not always the mother's fault. Here, or it's not. It was the young man's fault that the father has left them. So we talk about women just all of a sudden saying, okay, this is the man of the house. He's a little man. You know, he's the man. He the man in the house now because your daddy gone, that no good, such and such. He done left us here. You the man in the house now, baby. You called him a man and a baby all in the same sentence. So he know
Right.
now at the age of 7, I gotta protect mama. I'm the baby of the house, but I gotta take mama because my dad or that so-called what you come left us behind, and now here I gotta take care of the household. I ain't never like, oh, I'm no have no problem with that. I let everybody in the streets know I'm the man of the house now. I'm you know that's my house.
So then, therefore, he's staking a claim on something that is not rightfully his. So in a sense, it's accelerated his growth and it's stunted his growth simultaneously.
Right, right. At the age
So
of
he
8 years
didn't have a
old,
chance to complete his growth as a child. So it just catapulted him into being a grown man, the grown man syndrome. So that's a little boy in a grown man trying to do grown man stuff.
hey, ain't no food in the house. What I gotta do? I'm the man in the house now, right? Ain't no more food in the house, so I gotta go out here and do what I gotta do. Mama told me that I gotta take care of the house now,
Right.
right?
So that's you brought up a very good point. We have to accept our point in the deviancy of our young males, even our females. We can't sit back and say that it's all the man's fault. So we have to in order to find a solution and stop complaining about what's going on in our community, we have to get to the root. And in order to get to the root, It's going to take some a lot of personal reflection. It's going to take. It's going to be painful. There are some things that there's a lot. There's been a lot of trauma that has gone on in our community. So therefore, it's going to take a lot of digging, and that digging is going to bring up a lot of suppressed memories. And as women, we already carry so many hats. We have to deal with so many things, and we have a way of putting on masks to not allow people to see what's really going on with us. So a lot, especially in African American Black community, women are seen as angry, and we're not really angry. We're just tired because we have so many roles that we have to play, and we just need assistance. So a lot of times we reach out to our kids, or we put our kids in roles where they shouldn't be, where we should be reaching out to our male counterparts to discuss what's wrong with us so we can get to the end of it, to the root cause of our interrelational problems. So that is one cause of the baby boy syndrome. And we don't do our daughters any service either, because they're watching us, how we relate to our male counterparts, our sons and our male figures.
No, definitely. No, I mean, everything that you said is correct. And so we done jumped around to a lot of different topics. When we talk about the baby boy, then we talk about the man. But I was just giving an example of how we start giving labels to our young men, and we know that some of them, when we react to them and call them the man in the house, the man, they're out there in the streets being rough and tough and dangerous. And when
Right.
we get these young men that are called baby boys, that they become latched on to the mama, and not saying that they're necessarily soft, but when everything goes wrong, who they run to? They run back to mama's house. They ain't got their own things. They out there surviving to a certain degree, but they ain't really striving to get no more than what they already got. And as you just said, explaining about how we are taking our different roles, and the women have to take the role because it's up to them. If the man is left and that woman's in control of everything, then she got to change the narrative more than anybody else. And like I said, in the younger women, they're seeing this, and now we got to change how they continue to grow to where they don't start doing what their moms did. They don't start dating these guys who have that or that baby boys, and so the cycle continues, but the cycle can be broken.
Yes, and we need to break the cycle. One thing that I tell my sons, that they should not compare their wives to me. My son, I admit, my sons and I are very close, but they must know that I am not their wife. When they have problems, then they get mad at me, but I tell them that I remain neutral in their relationships. So that like you said, that baby boy syndrome, when they can't run home and to mama, they have their men now. So they have to solve their issues, you know, on their own. They can't, like, bring me into the middle and mama be in the middle of your business. No, that's not right. So therefore, we need to teach our sons how to deal with their issues on their own. Their mom can't be their savior. You understand what I'm saying? Every time they got a toe ache, they got to run home to mama so she can fix it. Or if the wife don't do something wrong, cook a meal right, they get mad and go home to mama so she can fix them something to eat. No, they got to be a man and handle their business. If they're single or if they're married, they got to know how to handle their issues on their own, because mom is not going to always be there, and the world does not care about about you. So you're going to be crippled. The world will eat you alive and spit you out.
But
So
the
that's
one,
just setting them up for failure.
but the one thing I want to ask you is this. Now we didn't jump to another level and now this woman is being married to this man. We keep trying to say he a man, but we also talking about the baby boy, because inside of every boy, every man is a little boy. Inside a grown woman is a little girl, and any given time, one of them could show up. So when we talk about this being in relationships, whether he's married or not, how does a woman know? Can she figure this out just by his early actions that she got a baby boy? She got a mama's boy in her hands.
Okay. Well, that depends on her, because now we got to be fair. Now I ain't gonna just lay on the men too. Now that depends on the woman. If the woman is mature and knows what she wants and is on her square, of course she would know, because every time there's a dilemma or there's something going on, he shuts down, or he runs home to his mama, or he pulls his mama into their issues, or he brings an outside force. See, there's one thing that I learned the hard way when I was immature in my other marriage, is that my boundaries were not set in my marriage. So therefore I let outside people into me and my husband marriage, and he did the same thing, because I was married to a baby boy, a mama's boy to the extreme. So therefore, his mom had more control over him and our marriage than he did. So therefore, it was unsuccessful. So you would know, there are so many characters. She has her weight has more leverage than our weight. The woman's, the wife, the girlfriends. He can't make a decision without her. If she calls, if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I can understand if there's an emergency or something, but he don't know how to say no to her. There are so many clues. And listen, there's another thing. Let me make this clear. How a man treats his woman determines how he would treat you. He should always love and respect his mother. But scripture says, going back to Genesis, when a man and a woman marries, they become one, and they leave their family behind. That's me paraphrasing it. But so therefore, when a man and a woman marry, they're one. They have one vision and one purpose. They're united. So a mom should no longer have that weight in her son's life. You understand what I'm saying?
Now I hear what you're saying, but now I'll put on the blame on both parts. I'm gonna hit on one with the women, and then I hit back onto the man. Because now if this woman, she wants this man, he got some nice character, he looking good. He didn't when she first met him, he got a little money in his pocket. He might have a nice little car, but she don't know much about all this. Now he fronting in the beginning. He got everything that she looking for in the beginning. He even got some slick words for her. So she get caught up, and here come a month go down the road. Now she realize, uh-oh, this ain't what I thought it was. So she get caught up. I don't know if I should let this go or keep it, because there's some good things coming out of this. So here comes that denial part. I just can't let this go just like that, because I didn't got used to this right here. But here comes the responsibility part. That man knows that everything he didn't brought to that table was phony. He had that money because he just got that big check from somewhere, but he ain't gonna get no more money like that in a couple more days, or may not even have a job, period. So now he got to go get mama some money to take this lady out. He got to do some little odd work, but he knows his situation. So we hold the man responsible, or do we hold that lady in denial for knowing that he is what he is, and now that I got him, I don't want to let him go. And now he know he got her, he ain't gonna let her go, because now when I want to stay at my mama's house, guess what? Baby, I'm in your house on your couch watching your TV. And guess what? That car that I was driving last week, I had to turn that back into my Uncle Leroy. So I'm going to need the keys to your car this week. You going on to work, and I'll get your key. I'll come pick you up from work, baby. Don't worry about it. So now she's trapped. He's driving her car. He didn't play the game. He didn't got in the house now. He just told her, look, my mama's tripping. I can't, I ain't trying to come home. She's tripping. You know, or this is going on. I can't tolerate this no more. But baby, don't worry about it. Come on over here and you can stay here if you want. You ain't got to go nowhere else. I'm switching that script because how do you blame who do you blame? He didn't play this game. He didn't got in. Now she don't want to let him go because now I got to go back to being lonely again.
So you want to say who's at fault if we hook up with a buster?
I mean, the man gonna play his game. If he a baby boy, he gonna play his game because he know all this is what if I'm showing him something behind the scenes, this ain't real. And then
Okay, listen.
that might be let me even if it is real to a certain degree. And like you said, the baby boy where he got himself together to a little bit, but he's still hanging on to mama. You got two sides of a baby boy. One who's a little bit responsible. He wants some money in his pocket, so he got a job. But it's still, when things go bad, he went home to mama. But then you got the other cat who ain't good for nothing. But he looking for another mama to take care of him.
Okay, so here's where reality sets in. From experience, and I'm about to make my 60th rotation around this sun. When I was out there in the street, I'm gonna be real. I know some people are not able to be real, but transparency is my modicum of deliverance. I say this all the time. There are signs. We just sometimes choose to ignore those signs. You understand what I'm saying? I'm finna get real with everybody.
Well, that's why I'm trying to poke the bear. You've been like real quiet lately. I'm trying to
Yeah,
poke
I
the
see
bear.
you trying to poke the bear. But listen, I'm trying to choose my word because you know me, I go there. So listen, we as women, some of us, we think that we that person that we can change them. That's all of this is based on pride. We think we can change them. We think that we got that good that you see what I'm saying? And that we just that one. I in error saw all those signs with my children's father. I didn't like that man when I first met him. I didn't. I let him chase me for a whole year. Because when he first met me, he said I was going to be the mother of his kids. I said some words that I can't say right now. But a year or almost 2 years later, I ended up being the mother of his children, start being the mother of his children. So with that being said, on during our relationship, I saw things like, I'm like, this ain't right. But in the back of my head, something was telling me, girl, you got this. You that, isn't it? You can make this happen. So I in error thought that I was that chick that can turn him around. And then I went to the church and said, oh, yeah, pray for him, praying wife, blah, blah, blah. No, you cannot change a person. They have to want to change. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to accept, like a lot of my sisters are bitter about what a man did to them. In every toxic relationship, who was the common denominator? We were. So until we accept the fact that, hey, what was our complicity in those relationships? We gotta accept what we did in that part. Unless those cats had a gun to our head and made us stay involved, I know the bees is buzzing, but we have to accept what part we played in it. Whether it was of our own volition, whether it was something suppressed that we did something to stay in those relationships. So we have to accept that, deal with it, ask the Holy Spirit to help us be delivered from that fact and move on. Let me tell you something that my children's father told me after we had reconnected. He said, Joe, do you think that I'm going to sit here and think about all the things that I did wrong to you? My life has moved on. You can stay stuck in the past, but I'm not. When that man said that to me, Dennis, I was like, you Oh, I did cuss. But you know what? He was right. He had moved on with his life, got with somebody else, and here I am, sick, releasing all these negative hormones. That man wasn't thinking about me. I'm not saying that he didn't still love me. He wasn't thinking about what he said. I can't change that. And you know what? I got some peace. When he died, we were mad. So I reconciled with the fact that, okay, I was a stupid young girl. I messed up, but I'm good. And that's what I want a lot of my sisters to get to the point to say, okay, I messed up. He played me. That was his loss, not mine. I got a lot of friends, 30 and 40 years later, they still hung up on a dude that did them wrong. Let him go. It is so many other, oh my God, it's so many other fish in the sea, Dennis. So we have to take our forgiveness is not about, it's taking ourselves off their hook. It's not a feeling, it's a choice. So therefore, we got to teach our kids that. We got to teach our sons that. We don't need to let use our kids as pawns, sons or daughters. You understand?
Sister, I hear you. I hear you. But this man is slick. Yeah, look, I'm gonna be. That's you going back to be transparent about how you did and what you was
Listen, let
doing.
me stop you. My kid's father could sell an ice cube in hell. That's how slick he was. So don't tell me about being slick.
And look,
I
look.
don't want to hear no excuses, Dennis.
Hey,
I don't want, he can be slick, but you got to be slicker. Use your wisdom and discernment, Dennis. No games, no excuses.
see, here's where I'm gonna hit you at. I'm trying to protect the women. I'm on the women's side. I'm trying to help them out a little bit. But then I'm
Okay.
also gonna help you understand how me and how the other brothers do what we do.
Okay. And
Because
I'm
you understand when a man go hunting, when you go hunting, you know what you're hunting for.
okay, and I'm a woman too, been one all my life. And I'm
All
gonna tell
right.
you some I'm gonna tell you something about predators. The reason why predators prey on us is because there's something called a pheromone. We can finna get deep now. See,
Hey,
you wanna play
hey,
with me now.
look,
See, you starting this. The reason why that y'all prey on us is because of pheromones. We emit pheromones.
yeah,
Y'all, because of what's this right here called
yeah,
olfactory
yeah,
senses.
yeah,
Yeah. Y'all can sense that in us.
right.
See, we are tripartite beings, mind, body, and spirit. Most of us want to focus on the Hashanah. That's that spirit part. But we
Right.
need to focus on the mind and the body. Let me help you with the body part. These pheromones that we emit, something that trauma, it can be sensed by other people, just you universally. So therefore, when someone is hurt, see, people are very intuitive. Those five senses that we got, people can pick up on it. So a brother that's
Hey,
good on their game, all that, see, baby, don't go with
hey,
it.
hey,
All they got to do is
hey.
come.
You see this
Look.
smile right here. You see this smile right here. You see this pretty face. I'll show
Yeah,
you that
I got one
charisma.
too. Let me
So,
tell you
so
something. Don't come with game recognized game. They listen. They come with you. They hit you with one or two choice words, and by two of those choice words, they can sum a sister up. You know what I'm saying? And by that, they can get you to open up. Okay.
look,
So a sister that's down and out, or she got low self-esteem, or don't love herself, or she's lonely or searching, all the brother they gotta do is give her a few choice words. And or she can tell by her body language. It's so many things that goes on with our sisters. That's why I tell my sisters every day that we have to love ourselves when don't nobody else love us.
hey, that's across the board. That's across the board. And the men, it don't go no different. It don't go no different because
True.
we got women out there that's preying on men, and we
I
got
know that's true. That's
so
true.
so they
We got some troubles
yeah.
too.
So
But
so let me talk. Let me hit you to this right. So we go on.
what?
I'm gonna go back deeper on you with this right here.
What?
Because when we talk about Jody, when he was driving around in his girlfriend's car, profiling,
Right.
he went out and got him a little bit of job, so making a little bit of money. And
Right.
he would go up there and get them clothes. He'd tell baby, this look good on you. Look how I know your size. I got to look at your size right now. I tell you this will fit you perfectly. Size you up with his dress. So I hit some numbers on. He said, "Whoa, yeah, it looked good." But then he also came right up in the car, see the ladies at the bus stop, come cruise up to nice music. Now she at the bus stop, so obviously there's one or two things going on. She ain't got no man that's gonna give her a job, that's gonna take her to work or wherever she going, or he ain't paying enough attention to her to take her to where she going. So now I got to ask one or two questions. Why your man got you sitting on this bus stop, girl? As good as you looking. What you doing on this bus stop? My man, hey, I ain't got nobody. What are you talking about? She started smiling and giggling. I got to wait for this bus to get to work. Well, hold up, baby. Hop in this car. I'll take you on to work. You ain't got to be sitting on that bus. You looking too good. Get in this car and take you on to work. She hop in the car. All I hit her with the one word. Oh, I say that. And she say, well, um, it ain't none of your business why my man ain't take me to work. She gonna tell me all her business right there. So I got the attitude that she ain't, she got a man. Okay, you got a man. Okay, cool. That's cool. But he ain't care enough to take you to work. Got you on a bus stop. You looking too good to be on a bus stop. So I'll draw her back in again. Come on and get in this car. Let me take you on to work. Nah, that's all right. I'm good. She a little cock. She a little strong-minded. She ain't worried about it, but she know I'm trying to run the game on, so she's like, all right, whatever. But the other one to hop in the car, I got you, sister.
Game.
You done. We on the hook now. You get in a car. Either gonna go to work or we going somewhere else. And if you really ain't tired, you really ain't feel like working today, we ain't going to work. Let's go get something to eat, baby. Let's go get something to eat. But I'm just saying, I'm just throwing out different scenarios out, like we talk about the game. And we talk about how the young men and the women both got to take responsibility for this game. And we understand that we start out at the very beginning, that he was taught this game at a very early age in the household. For the watching the men coming in, interacting with his mom because the dad ain't there no more, or he watching how the dad's interacting with this lady. He's watching other people. But then when the mom gives him the right to say, "You my baby boy, you man of this house," now he understands how I got to conduct myself. So when other
He
men,
flipped
right,
backwards and forward.
right. So this mentality don't just come hopping in your lap. It just don't fall in your lap. These are things that we talking about are trained behaviors. We learned them from somebody and somewhere. And so that's why we have to be careful when we talk about the mental aspect of what's going on in the younger women, in the young boy's mind, and then also in the young girl's mind, that they get caught up in this syndrome of thinking they either got to take care of this baby boy, or this baby boy think he's going to keep on running game with these women because he was trained how to condition himself. He was programmed this way. My mama told me I was the man in the house. But did she tell you a man in the house provides? He goes out there and get a job? She didn't tell you that. Tell you the man takes out the trash? She didn't tell you that. Tell you the man might have to cook sometimes to clean the house? No, mama ain't tell me that because mama did all those things.
And see, which rolls back down to Magnificent Moms. Uh, uh, Magnificent Moms is something that I endeavor to change the narrative of women as gatekeepers. 1 to 7, children form their narratives, that who they are as a person. So who is the first person that any person comes into this world? What's the first contact? A woman. So I'm not discounting dads. They have an important role in their kids' life too in those years, but it's usually the mom who really instills and just has that meaningful contact. So we need to change the narrative of women as gatekeepers. They have such a important role in our children's lives, and especially when it comes to the role of parenting. So a lot of men who I've been in contact with, they have not had good role models as mothers. So therefore, that's how they have issues in relating and have a relationship with women. So this is very important to be able to reconcile and restore what and how men relate and see women. So this is how I envision dynamic dads and magnificent moms being successful in and outside of those walls. I am so excited. And so this baby boy concept, the construct of gatekeeping and co-parenting, and there are so many levels to restoring the family. Um, it is just it's amazing the work that is, especially in the Black community, in all communities, but I can only speak to the Black community because that's a part of which I belong. I live and work among many, but the Black community is my own. So I see the danger that's been done. So I can't complain about something and don't try to find a solution. So in order to find a solution, Dennis, we must bring these sensitive topics to the forefront. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, most definitely. That's why we're talking about today. I mean, it's not here to tear anybody down, but we're here to build
No.
somebody else. So when we talk about how the women are more nurturing to the young men or not. That's where they got to start empowering these men to be a part of their lives when they're growing up in the beginning stages of taking care of this child, not letting him off the hook. But if you don't empower that man to take care of that child at the early stage of birth, he don't think he got to do that. So then you letting that man get into that baby boy syndrome that, hey, I ain't got to be all I just got to do is provide for him. I ain't got to rock him to sleep at nighttime. I ain't got to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to change his diaper. I ain't got to be taking him for
Right.
walks no more. Now, there's men out there that do that, and I commend them because they understand their role as a father, as a dynamic dad, and they take that. But women has to also understand that you got to empower men sometimes. Don't let him think that he ain't got to do these responsibilities.
Right. So I have been having conversations with my brothers that are behind the wall, and a lot of people are very, they feel some kind of way about people who are in prison. And my thing is, I say, by the grace of God, you're not there, because some people, you just ain't got caught. So in talking with these brothers, some of these, like this particular brother I'm talking about, this brother has his doctorate degree, and brilliant brother. You and I talk about him all the time, and he's only 44 years old, and he has been incarcerated half of his life. So he learned. He didn't come from poor families. Family were business owners and et cetera, et cetera. He just started hanging with the wrong crowd and just got caught up. So he and I share about a lot of things that you and I are talking about, and he tries to help the young and the old behind those walls. So a lot of people say, well, why do you want to feel that you can say, have a voice, and men will listen to me? And I'm saying, well, why shouldn't they listen to me? Because, like I said, a woman's voice needs to be heard, and a lot of them have issues with their baby mamas or their girls or their wives, or they have been wounded. So the first step is to reconcile with a woman. You understand what I'm saying? And to know that they need to hear that they are the foundation. We need to change the narrative that they've been taught to believe, or that they are thinking. You understand? Does that make
Definitely,
sense?
definitely got to do that. Definitely got to do that. I mean, it's on both parts. I mean, for those men that didn't have a father, we need the fathers to come back in life and say, look, man, I'm sorry. Apologize. Be humble, man. Take up your rightful role and apologize to that young man. And even those women who have known they raised baby boys.
Right.
Come back to that son and say, look, I wasn't doing you any justice by picking up your clothes and washing your clothes all the time. I wasn't doing you no justice when I cooked your food. When you came home, there was food in the refrigerator for you. You had to cook your own meals. I did not help your cause. And they can start off now at a 15-year-old. If you're a mother and you got a 14 or 15-year-old boy, he still know how to wash his clothes or cook his dinner. Guess who you're raising?
We do our kids a disservice when we don't teach them independence. Also, as in the group Magnificent Moms, I share all kind of things. It's not just about motherhood, and motherhood is comprised of not just birthing a natural child. It can be birthing a dream. It could be a surrogate mother. It could be a godmother. Motherhood is comprised of so many things. So I have long been teaching on the art, not the art, but the construct of having wounded wombs. See, men are seed carriers, and we are incubators. That means our womb. So whatever is given to us, we're going to birth out. So our womb needs to be in good condition. So if we're not good, in a good shape mentally, spiritually, physiologically, what do you think we're going to birth out? Whatever seed is planted in our womb, we're going to birth that seed out. So we got to get in a shape to where our wombs are healthy. We don't need to be walking around here with any more wounded wounds. So that's what I want women to share. We walk around here with masks on, and our masks are comprised of red bottoms, the designer purses and haute couture, and all this other stuff, makeup and eyelashes and weave and all this other stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with accessorizing ourselves. But when that is the totality of our being, that is something wrong with us. When we're a bunch of dressed up messes and the core being of who we are is a bunch of trauma, is a bunch of hurt, there's something wrong with that. And we just keep pressing it and suppressing it and suppressing it. Pretty soon we're going to implode. So that's why I try to teach my women. And I know in some areas I'm not received, but that's okay, because the word says some plant, some water, but God gives the increase. So that's what I do. I share the word with my sisters, and I keep moving on, because we got to get to the bottom of this. We have to see that a man can't do any more to us than we allow him to. We got to learn how to treat ourselves first, and then by that, people watching us, they would treat us better. You know, I just get tired of, hearing a lot of men are dogs, but a dog don't want nothing but a bone. Well, why are you being a bone? You understand what I'm saying? And then the men say women are gold diggers, but do you have that much money? So we have to change the narratives of what we're saying. So you done got me started now. So we have to change the narratives of what we see and what we say. Fear is the basis of a lot of things that we go into. We got to stop fearing things. We got to have faith. I'm gonna shut up.
Nah, you good. I'm trying to get this one young lady on here that I know if she get on here, she will tear it up with you. And I'm about to invite her in right now.
Invite her in.
Hopefully she can come in. Yeah, but we definitely talk about that. I say Dynamic Dads and Magnificent Moms, we are here because we want to change it, like I said, to change the narrative of how our communities with the young women and the young men are being raised. And even as our adults that we're conducting, how we parent. Because we know that we have a lot of mental issues going on. We've been hit by so many things in our lives that have got us going all different directions. And so we got to take a step back and regroup and figure out how can we change what's going on in our communities. You know, don't get me wrong, a lot of you women out there are doing great. A lot of you men out there are doing great. And I want you to come in and help empower those who are not, because they figure they don't have the resources. So if you know how to do it, let's not just walk past them and look at them in the gutter and say, look at that, look at that. Hey, Letitia, what's going on, Miss Flippin? We got a guest come on in and see what she's going to talk about. Mr. Letitia Flippin from North Carolina, Kakalaka, coming up in here, about to visit us in a minute. Hope she's taking it a minute to get in. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so that's what we want to talk about today. And we're going to see what Miss Letitia got to say about it in a few minutes. Hey, Letitia, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, Letitia.
There's a little
Hello.
Introduce you to Miss Josephine Horace Jackson from out of Chicago. And we got Miss Letitia out of North Kakalaka, Chicago, by way of Pittsburgh. But listen, we're here to talk about the baby boy syndrome and how we got a lot of young men walking around here with that baby boy syndrome. So let me give you, talk about that a little bit. What you got to say about that?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Well, I think some of it is a lack of maturity. I think somewhere along the lines we found it okay to not mature and just stay stuck where you are, and kind of use that as an excuse as to why I can't do this or why I can't do that. A lot of people aren't held responsible from the time they're young, from things as far as getting good grades to making sure you're prepared when you go to school with a pencil and everything in your backpack. Nobody's really watching. They're just sending them out into the world, but nobody's actually watching or teaching. So there's a regression versus a progression.
All right, so we got, so as we go along that, we talk about the household now. That's what we're sitting here talking about, how the mother, when she gives that young man the title that you the man of the house, you the man, because the dad's not here, or she's holding on to him in the sense that he's become the baby boy because now mama's doing everything. And like you talking about that.
To me, that's the wrong message to send when you tell an 8 or a 9-year-old he's the man of the house. That gives him a sense of entitlement that, number one, he can't fulfill, but number two, he hasn't earned or matured into. And when he hasn't had an example of what a man is, and he makes up in his young, impressionable mind, whether it's through video games or watching TV or music or videos or whatever it may be of what a man looks like, he doesn't know how to maintain that or hold up to that.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you talk about being a man when he know there's no man in the house. So you talking about be a man. What man?
I'll text you.
You just said my father left me, so now that's the type of man you talking about being? So we're sitting there talking about, how we got to change the narrative of these things that we're saying. The words have meanings at a very young age, and we got to change how we're giving our kids these titles at a very young age, but let them understand that they have responsibility, and we've got to teach them the right way.
Yes. But some people aren't being, I read a mess. Somebody had posted something on Facebook a few years ago, and I really had to think about that. And it said, we have to remember that some people are raised on, what did it say? Chicken nuggets and TV and allowed to live. Or no, it didn't say, some people aren't being raised. They're allowed to live and like basically given just TV and chicken nuggets, but nobody's actually like teaching them how to thrive versus survive. So many people live in survival mode versus knowing how to thrive.
Right. I got you. And as far as that, the early stages of that we're talking about. Josephine, if you want to jump right in here and help this young lady out. I don't want to be tag teaming nobody because I'm going to be on the man side here because he has a young boy, a young man. Hey, I'm relying on mama. And then if mama can't do it, and mama told me I'm the man of the house, I got to go ahead and get this money. And if I got to go out here and get this money, I got to do what I got to do because I'm the man now. But as we advance, we talked about earlier, is that as this young man has progressed in his life, hey, baby, I want to marry you now. And then we just talked about that, but I'm trying to catch Letitia up to speed that here we are now, he a grown man. You talking about that little boy no more that's in high school or even in college. He a grown man. I'm about to get married now. How do you navigate that? Letitia, as a young lady, you got a man come walking up to you and he wants to date you. What are the procedures? What is his qualifications got to be?
Well, I'll say this. I never grew up with my father in the house, but I grew up with my granddad and all of his friends, uncles, and I had an older brother. And my mom never gave my brother that false narrative of he was the man of the house. I'm the mother. I'm the head of this household. You are the child. Here's what your responsibilities are. Now, I can say that my brother was very protective of me as a child. He was very protective of me and watched out for me and things like that. But he was never given that role or that responsibility. So we had my granddad to look forward to, who we saw going out to work every day. If his family needed something, he provided that. You know, we didn't have somebody necessarily in the house 24/7, but we did see an example of somebody who was fulfilling that role. And my granddad not only took care of us, but literally, like at his funeral, one of the ladies who got up to speak said he wasn't just a man of his house, he was a man of the community, because my granddad would be willing to stretch his hand out to help whoever needed help if he could do that.
So Josephine,
So,
what you?
did that Letitia help you in forming who you or how you dated or chose to marry or whatever when you became an adult?
Well, yes, and it's been very difficult, I think, to find somebody who not necessarily lives up to that, but is somewhat of an example to that. Because a lot of people, well, a lot of guys that I've come across are very selfish. And they want things, but they're not willing to reciprocate what they want you to give. That's just been my experience. I know that's not every guy. That's been my experience. And it's either that or they come with so much baggage and so much drama. Like, yeah, you're a nice guy, but all the other stuff that I'm going to have to deal with, it's just not even worth it.
So by you saying it's so there's no compromise, or so this is I'm being a devil's advocate. I hate to use that word. I'm being an advocate here. So okay, and you know, and some ladies say, well, my clock is ticking, and he's a good guy and he got a good job, and maybe I should try and just like Dennis did me earlier. Maybe I should just go on and give him a chance. So maybe he'll change down the road. What's your take on that?
I have to take you for who you are. And the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And if I see you have a certain pattern that's pretty current, I got to think, you're going to bring that at some point into our relationship. And if I don't want to deal with that, then I just have to leave you alone. I've never been one, like, I've always wanted children. I don't have any. I've always wanted them, but I never came across somebody that made me say, ooh, I want to have your baby, or I want to be with you and marry you and let's start a family. Because I never saw in those guys the acceptance of responsibility. If you have trouble dealing with your basic responsibilities as far as taking care of yourself, and if you have any children already on this earth that you don't take care of, I have nothing for you. I just don't.
Well, see, that goes back to, that's where we go back to that baby boy syndrome. That because his mom's been taking care of him so long, now he comes against a woman who has something to offer, and he ain't got nothing to offer. You saying to the woman, "Oh, your standards is too high."
Oh
You
yeah,
got, you got higher standards.
I've had that happen before. Like I like when I'm first start talking to a guy, for one of the first things I ask, like, oh, I'll tell you, like, I'm gonna ask you some personal questions. You don't have to answer them, but I'm gonna ask. So I asked the guy one time, how many kids you got? He's like, oh, I got 3 kids. Da 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 da. Okay, cool. When's the last time you saw your kids? Why is that important? Because if you can't see your kids, you can't see me. I'm sorry. They should be the first people that you see or talk to. So if you can't see them, there's nothing you can do for me. And that's always the approach I've had. And I've had a lot of guys just like completely cut me off after that. But if they're not your priority, then what is?
Right. But the question that got me was when he said, why is that important? You're supposed to be a man.
Right.
You're supposed to be a man. Now, if we're going to move
Right.
if we're going to start taking care of household responsibilities, paying bills, mortgage on, mortgage and stuff like that, car notes, putting food in the house, that's going to happen again. Hey, baby, the bill is due today. Well, why are you talking to me?
Right.
I was talking
to a guy. I was talking to a guy, and I was introduced to him by one of his family members. And very nice. very mannerable, this, that, and the other, you know. And he starts talking. He's like, yeah. And I knew he had 2 kids. Then all of a sudden, this brand new baby popped out of nowhere. And the exact words were, but you don't have to worry about her because she doesn't live here in this state. Okay. So then we continue talking, and I find out there's another daughter somewhere who's grown. Then a couple of weeks later, I find out there's a son that's grown somewhere that he hasn't seen in 12 years. Okay. Nice to meet you. How many more are going to pop out the woodwork?
Letitia, I ask you, what advice would you give our sisters? You know, as I was stating earlier, we have a lot of sisters who are stuck or holding on to toxic relationships where they can't move on, or they their self-esteem is low, or I don't really know how to categorize them. They just can't seem to find the right person or put themselves in the right position to be found. Because you understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's very difficult, especially nowadays. It's very difficult, but you have to hold on to what you want and who you know that you want, or what you know you want from that person. And when you start to settle on some of the small stuff, you can settle on. Okay, you know what? He leaves his socks in the middle of the floor. I can accept that. Cool. You know, but when you start settling on the big stuff, like, oh, well, he don't take care of his kids, or, well, yeah, you know, he gets drunk, but it's only 3 times a month. You know, he can talk a little bit aggressive, but it's only when, you know, stressed out or whatever it may be. When you start compromising and settling on those things, then you change the whole trajectory of the relationship, not only with that person, but with yourself. Because at that point, to me, you're letting yourself down. And that's just me.
Right, right. But we talk about how that young man or that person is being enabled by his mother to make him think that's acceptable.
Yes. And people get upset when it's not. Well, I'll say guys will get upset if it's somebody they really, really want to be with and they don't find that acceptable, they get upset. Well, then you need to go work on you and then come back and talk to me. Once I see you're working on you and you're a work in progress and you've made some of those changes, maybe we can revisit this whole thing. I'm not going to rule you out completely.
Right, right.
But I need to be able to see some change.
Right. I just have a brother come on, Victor Dortch. You know, he might be able to give us a little more perspective from his side as being a man. We're talking about this the baby boy syndrome, Mr. Victor. What you got to add to that, brother?
I'm just coming in, so I'm not hearing the whole conversation. What exactly are we talking about?
We're talking about the baby boy. But sit back a little bit and listen up, and we're going to talk to you so you get caught up a little bit. So we're going to let Josephine, you know, she's under the Magnificent Moms, and so she's going to give Letitia a little insight of how she talks to women, and they can help you understand with that man that you just talked about, how he's dealing with his lifestyle and how they're dealing with that. Give us a little insight on that, Joe.
Well, we've been talking about the baby boy syndrome. We've been using the Jody as an teaching tool, the movie Baby Boy. So about how when the mom, usually a lot of moms, some moms give, when the dad cuts out, give the little boy the king role in the house. So you're the man of the house. So therefore, he has a role puts on him he's not equipped to handle, and stays in mom's basement till he's 25, 35, 55. And he gets a girl and takes her to rides around in a car all day while she's at work. Or later on, he marries somebody and mom's is involved in their marriage. So those are the capstones that we've been bouncing back and forth off of. So we would like to know, you know, what can you add to that syndrome?
Well, as far as there's no father figure there to teach this guy how to be a man. So being the man of the house is all he knows, and then he really don't know what he's doing. So it's basically learning as you go. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a whole lot of mistakes made because no one is taught this young man.
Victor, let me ask you a question before you go too deep in that. As we talked about before in your interview, that as a young age you were talking about you were told you were the man in the house and you had to go out and provide for your family. So tell us about that. I mean, we're talking about the words play of this young man being told he's the man of the house.
Well, when I was growing up, there was no father figure. So I would go out and I had 3 younger sisters. Trying to be the man of the house, I would go pack bags and do whatever I had to do to bring some money into the house. Now, a lot of the things that I did, besides pack grocery bags and stuff, weren't the right way to go because the packing bags didn't bring in enough money. So my next step was to do something illegal. And now once I did get a little bit of change, I did bring it home to moms to help out. And I was like a father figure to my 3 little sisters. So, you know, I would cook, I would clean, and just, I mean, not play my position, but try to play a position that really wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You mute your mic for a second, Vic. You got a lot of background music stuff going on there for a little bit. So
I ain't got
Tisha,
no music.
so Letitia,
Yes.
so now we talking about here a grown woman, and here you talking about a young man. As a young man, he learned at an early age, and now he think he a man. But he been meeting grown men that are talking about what he's talking about doing. Not ill-equipped, unprepared to be in a relationship with you, but they don't want to take the responsibility for what they got to do. So how do you
Right.
tell? So for a woman of your age, of your status, you know, you got your own house, your own car, you got a good job. What advice can you give these women that get caught up like that and accepting this young man and taking in, you know, what you're saying, I ain't got time for it, they accepting it. What advice would you give them?
Don't accept it. You got to love yourself enough to know that you deserve better or that you want better and not just accept anything that somebody's giving you. Like I said, I'm not saying maybe not give them a chance to work on, but listen, I like you, dude. This is what I don't like, or this is what I can't accept. Maybe later on down the road, maybe we could try this again. But that's vice versa as well. The guy should be able to do and say the same thing.
Yeah.
But what if the ladies don't have that mindset that you do? Some women don't have that strong mindset. How do you get sisters to that point to where you are?
They have to want it for themselves. Like, I can tell you what I choose or how I choose, but you have to want that for yourself, and you have to know and understand that you deserve better, and that not everything has to be toxic, not everything has to be aggressive, not everything has to be forced, not everything has to be, well, this is the only thing coming to my doorstep, so I guess this is what I have to accept. No, I'll tell anybody, I'll be by myself all day first before I have somebody come in and either A, destroy what I have created, or B, try to bring me down.
Right.
I just can't, I personally can't do it. And I'm not saying I've never been in that situation, but you can only burn me so many times. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like being in a hospital, so them 3rd-degree burns can't keep coming this way.
Right. So you saying you learned from your tragedy. So you took those stones and turned them into stepping stones. So that's why I try to encourage my sisters that there is a way out, that, you know, people only treat you the way you allow them to treat you.
Allow them.
If you don't love yourself, you can't expect others to love you. So you got to first establish boundaries. And that's something that I guess, you know, if you've never come from a situation, an environment where you weren't taught those things, or you were never affirmed, it's going to be kind of hard. So that's why I encourage seasoned and older women to teach the young sisters. Don't be so condescending in hearts, because some of them actually weren't taught. They don't know any better. That's all they saw. So if you know better, share it with your younger sisters and brothers, and even some of the older ones. Share that what you know with them so they can do better. Because if you know better, you will sometimes do better. And when you share it with them, don't expect them to get it right then, because it's years and years of suppressed trauma and whatever that you got to dig through. So just give it to them and sit back, right?
Some of the things that I have found as well is when you don't really and truly have a concept of what love is or how you need someone to love you, you're a lot more willing to accept whatever someone gives you. I was fortunate enough to grow up. Like I said, I didn't have my father in the household. I had my granddad. I had 2 uncles. I had my brother. I had my mom. I had my grandma. My granddad had amazing friends that always encouraged me. Like the one guy that was at church, he would always say, "Hey, beautiful, how you doing this morning? You look pretty. You doing all right?" You know, he would always, talk to me and encourage me and stuff like that. His best friend, who actually just recently passed a few years ago, he was like an uncle to me, and I would go places with them. I would be in the back seat. They'd be in the front seat. We'd be going to Sears and Montgomery Wards and, just different places like that. So I was able to gain skills of like somewhat independence, of like learning how to cut my own grass, just little things like that really and truly help you be independent. And having that sense of independence helps tremendously, because when you feel like you have to rely on somebody, you're a lot more willing to accept less because you don't have your own way. You're not able to make your own way.
That's an excellent point. Victor, what are you saying?
I'm about to let him come back in now.
I said I've come into a lot of women in the past when I'm from New York City and I moved into North Carolina, and I was looking for a partner. I found God, and I was coming from a bad place, and I had a job, I had a car. It was drivable, but a lot of women, I guess they was looking for me to pull up in the Benz or pull up in this car, pull up in that car. And I was trying to find a girl to date and, possibly, get engaged and get married and stuff like that. But what I was finding out a lot is that a lot of women were aggressive. And if you didn't have a certain job or status quo, they didn't want to be bothered with you, and I was just used for a piece of meat. And it made me really uncomfortable.
Yes.
And
go ahead.
Well, like we talk about that,
These the church folk.
Yeah, we talk about
These the church folk.
Yeah, we talk about on the male side. You know what I'm saying? On the male side, I hear you saying the church folk. We ain't no difference, no barriers if where they from, where they at. If they gonna be who they be, So, but we talking about right now, like on your side, like the teacher saying, we got these men who are not stepping up to the plate, being responsible, and then you got these women who are praying on men, but no, they don't really want them because he can't meet their standards, so they're just using you for whatever they can get out of you. But what we talk about today is that everybody has to be responsible on all levels. The mothers have to be responsible, the fathers have to be responsible, and now these grown women and these grown men got to start being responsible, because guess what? We are raising a generation that are coming up doing the same thing. So we are constantly repeating a cycle of young men doing the same thing of not being responsible, and then we got the same thing on the women's side of these young women taking on this responsibility, or letting these men do this to them, or not doing it to them. But without the proper training, our generation is going in the wrong direction. They're not going in the right direction as far as who's responsible.
Learning and trying to grow and wanting to grow with that woman, they'll tell. I've been in a relationship where the woman was like, well, this is my house, and this is my this, and this is my that. All I wanted to do was get into the relationship and build together. But they wasn't ready to allow me in because I didn't have right then. And they were already established. So by me coming in, I wasn't quite at the point they were at. So they were the boss, and this is mine, and mine's. Okay, that's yours. But can we build towards ours? Can we, can you allow me to come in and give me a chance? A lot of the women didn't even want to give you a chance because they're so used to getting hurt and burnt that, from the other guys, that they wouldn't allow me. I mean, I had a job, you know what I'm saying? So let me come into your life, and I'm starting to get myself together, but they weren't willing to wait that long. Like, it's a process, especially for some of the, a guy like me. I came in in about my 40s, and I didn't have anything because I'm coming from New York and now I'm in Charlotte, and I do want to build, and I do want to grow together. I don't want your stuff. I want to build and have our stuff. But that chance wasn't given to me because so much damage have been done to them that they weren't ready to give me an opportunity to show what I have or to show what I can get.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get on two parts. I'm gonna let Letitia, if she wants to chime in on that. But sometimes we gotta learn that if when we come into the league, man, if I'm not ready for the pros, I don't step into the pros. I might go back to the D League. You know what I'm saying? If I mess with a woman and she tell me right up what she got, and I know I ain't got no job, first of all, and here she a lawyer, or she a nurse, and she got her own car, her own $200,000 house. Well, I can't pay the mortgage if she falls short. I got to learn to back up a little bit. I'm gonna have to go to McDonald's, give me one of them little chicks at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes it's how you present it as well. Sometimes it's not always about what you have or what you don't have. Sometimes it's about how you present it. And I'm all about being honest, but at the same time, like, listen, this is what I have, but those are only possessions. This is who I am as a person, and this is what I can give you as a partner. This is what I can give you as a mate. I'll eventually get the stuff, but here's what I can offer you as a person. This is what I can give you right now today. Now, if you're looking for the stuff and not the person, I'm not for you. But if you're looking for the person and we can get that stuff later, we good to go.
Yeah, I hear you on that. And that could go two ways. Because like you said, Victor's saying he didn't have the stuff, but he had the heart. You know what I'm saying? He had the character. But that woman's like, I need all of it right now. I need you to have a nice car. I need to have some money in your pocket. Well, then guess what?
They just blessed him to let him know that ain't what they looking for. Yeah, you can treat me like a dog. You can treat me like a doormat as long as you got that mortgage money.
Right. They let him know. They let him know in advance that they weren't the right person for him.
Exactly. Because if I can do for myself, I'm going to do for myself no matter what. I'm not going to wait for somebody else to do those things for me. I'm going to make it happen regardless of what. But if you come at me, you got a decent attitude, you're trying, you know what I'm saying? Like, that means a whole lot. Like, if you come to my house on Sunday night and set my garbage cans by the curb, that means a whole lot more to me than dinner at McCormick and Schmick. Trust.
I hear you, sister. But we also talk about, sometimes a lady get caught up with that man who do that. He get caught up with him thinking that he that good dude. He come in like that. He being Mr. Nice Guy. Victor could probably tell you that a little bit. Come in there, he cooking for you. He doing all the good things. He being nice. He got everything the game going. And then here it is, not him the fault. It's the woman the fault that she's talking about. She changed the game on
him. As far as that part is concerned, I'm gonna just give you a brief example of what happened to me. I was in church and I was looking for a mate, and I dated a couple of women, and they had the house and they had the car and they had that. And I did have a job and I did have a car, but I guess it wasn't good enough for them. They were my age. I'm in my 50s now. And the only thing I was good for them was for one thing. That's come in, do the maintenance on, with them, and that was it. But some of them had kids, and I was trying to be a father figure, a friend, a boyfriend, and then come to find out, they were just using me. And the person that gave me a chance, I met a younger woman. And the younger woman is my wife today, because that's what I was looking for, a wife. I wanted a friend to turn into a wife, but the older women that was friends thought that I just wanted something from them. And now they see me today. I own my own house. I got a decent job. I'm a bus driver. I got 2 kids by that younger woman. Now, I'm not saying that's what I didn't want, but I was looking for somebody more my age. But nobody my age was willing to let me get to second base. I was already at first base, but they wouldn't allow me to continue. Now, this young girl who I'm 23 years older than my wife. We have everything we possibly want in life now. And I'm 23 years older than her. Now, if one of those older women would have given me the opportunity to show what I had to offer and what I was willing to do, besides coming there and just take care of business, maybe I would have been with them. But that's exactly what I was looking for. I didn't want to just come in there and sleep with you and go home and go to dinner and all of that. I was looking for a wife, and I made that perfectly clear. But they didn't want the things that I wanted, probably because they had met so many bums and been married before. So what worked for me was meeting a younger woman and marrying her, and we build together. And I'm very comfortable now.
Well, see, Victor, this is what some people have to realize, that like women in our age, they like we were talking, you missed earlier, they carry around a lot of past, a lot of baggage, and therefore they do miss out on a lot of good men by looking in their rearview mirror. So that's what I say. We have to try, and I want to try and teach our sisters that we have to, not worry about what happened in the past, but to get over that and just give people a chance at their face value. I know I'm not saying lower your standards by heaven's means. I'm not saying that, but sometimes, like, let me give you an example for myself. In my Bible, I call my Bible Old Faithful. I got on this page, I got this long list of things way before my kids were born of what I wanted in a man. He gotta be 6'3", I have a six-pack, all kind of shallow stuff, of what I want to find, have a six-figure, blah, 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 blah. And in our head, that's what we want our men to bring to the table. And a lot of sisters have this of what they want a man to bring to the table. But what are we bringing to the table? You understand what I'm saying? So we get set in our ways. If they ain't got that, I don't want it. But okay, what if he don't work for IBM, or he's has a six-figure? What if he's just ordinary Joe and he's a good, kind, decent man? Like you said, you can build an empire together. You understand what I'm saying? But we get so stubborn and think that if he ain't got this, I don't want nobody. And we get into that saying we looking for Jesus or Boaz. But no, Jesus and Boaz can't be our husbands. So therefore, we miss out on a lot of good men that could be our husbands. When I finally say, okay, God, I'm done. That's when I met my husband, and my husband has met a lot, just about everything on that list except for 2 or 3 things. And he's not. If we had been out on the street, I would have walked past him. But he is my soulmate. You understand what I'm saying? So as women, we got to get past and men too, we have to get past some of those isms and schisms that we think that we want in a man.
Yeah. I'm gonna let Victor come back in. Victor, I'm gonna let you go. I know you had a long day, and you can say something and go on and get your rest, man.
Yeah, well, I understand exactly what she was saying, but the way I was treated, and I'm a good guy, and I was looking for that mate. But like I said, only one, as far as the maintenance job was being taken care of, she was happy. And a lot of women seemed like they were like guys. And when I didn't have what they wanted besides the loving and the time and attention, that money and that financial, they tore me down. When I say tore me down, I mean, they almost made me, look back at myself like maybe I'm not worth it. But I knew me and I knew what I was bringing to the table. And if I don't have it now, just give me a chance. Bear with me, and I'm going to get those things, and we're going to grow together. We're going to build that empire. Right now, I don't have much, but I got 2 kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. And I am 57 years old with a 5-year-old. And I didn't necessarily want kids, but being that I dated this younger woman, being that she gave me that chance and that opportunity, and she wanted kids, then I gave her kids. And I'm one of the happiest guys in the world right now. That, so maybe God blocked those women from getting with me or me getting with them to put me in the place so that I can receive what I have now. Now, it's hard. It's hard, man. I'm 57 years old with a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. But I'm glad that those women tore me down or used me and I guess for their best benefit. And right now, today, I just want to say I'm happy. My wife is 23 years younger than me. And like I said, I got these 2 kids, and I have my house, and I have my car, and I have my job, and I help her with everything. So I kind of show her some of the I don't want to say I educate her, but some of the wisdom that I have, and it's like almost perfect. It's like almost I'm in a perfect relationship right now. But where I want it to be, and those, with those other women who were my age, that's what I was looking for. But I didn't get it. And I'm, just where I'm at right now, I'm in a good place. And I'm happy that whatever happened to me, happened to me.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say I won't hold you up too much, man. I appreciate you getting on. I know you told me you had a long day, man. You always get up very early, and they said with those 2 young kids you got, you definitely up early. So I ain't gonna hold you, man. I do appreciate your time, though.
All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Take care.
All right, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, so what he's talking about, and what both Letitia's talking about, is here you have a young lady that's established, and she's not pretty much not lowering her standards, so to say, but she got a man that's coming to her who don't have much physically, but she's saying to him, I don't care if you got much physically, but at least, bring something mentally. And he's not trying to bring nothing mentally. Where you have here Victor, who he's coming in, and he has something mentally to bring because he don't have nothing physically to bring because he's on the second stage of his life and he done relocated. So he done lost what he could have had. He done lost some things in life. He's regrouping. But these women who was well established, they saying, look, I need you to have 5 figures, a nice car, money in the bank, some stocks, retirement plan, the whole 9. But then you have the other woman who's allowed this man to come in who ain't got nothing, the baby boy, and now he's laid up in the house driving the car while she making all the money, eating up all the food, and he not being productive, but she just wants somebody company because he laying down that pipe real good. And she ain't let him go out the house. You know,
So is the sex worth it? So is it worth having good sex to have a sorry buster in your house?
well, to some it may be because they tired of being alone.
Is alone is the same as being single?
But that also won't last forever.
There you go.
Right.
It'll give out at some point, or it'll wander off at some point.
Right. So what I brought those 3 points up to say that we all have to be discerning in what's going on in our lives. If you're a woman who's out there looking for a man that's got the standards that you got, then okay, then you might have to give a little bit, because if a man's in the second part of life, he might not have those things. But then you gotta be the woman who has those standards. You gotta live up to those standards. You gotta want more from that man, just like you want more for yourself. And then you got those men out there. If you're still playing this game and you want to be a mature man, don't step to these women that got their game up. You gotta go back to the G League, son, and you gotta go back to practicing a little bit before you become a man. And tomorrow, I want to be up here in the big leagues. If she got a $300,000 house, bro, and you still living in your mama's basement, don't step up to that lady. Don't play with her mind like that. Leave her alone, Jody.
Right.
But you can't always open that door and let them in either. If you know that's not what you're looking for, and you don't want to get caught up in a situation where, oh, well, now I'm pregnant, or oh, now this, or oh, now that, then you have to be very clear and set those boundaries and have those boundaries. Listen, if I'm leaving out at 9 o'clock in the morning, you got to be leaving out at 9 o'clock in the morning as well.
Oh,
If you want this to happen, then you got to get up and you got to make this happen. You got to have those clearly set boundaries. And that's both sides of the fence. That's not just one side or the other. That's both sides. You got to have these clear boundaries. But when you have somebody who has no plan, no idea of who they are or what they want to be, is it worth it to have you in my bed and then things explode and this happens or that happens and now I can't get rid of you?
Right, and that's what we're trying to take away from that Jody syndrome. We're trying to stop that Jody syndrome about these women are allowing these men to be set up like this and thinking they could get away with that. And now they're grown men, and now they go look for a woman who's got everything to take care of them. And then those women who out there say, I don't want to be alone, and allow this Jody to come in, now they can't get him out. So we are responsible, and that's what we're just talking here today about being responsible adults. You know, age don't make you an adult, but you gotta be mature enough to know that some things I can't handle and some things I can't control, but I gotta get respect on myself to do better. So we're not gonna hold up too much longer on this. I definitely appreciate you, Letitia, coming in just like that. You gotta get on more calls. You gotta get in more calls in here. But I'm gonna let you and Josephine, if y'all got something to say, and let y'all go.
I just want to thank you, Letitia, for coming on and sharing your words of wisdom. I want to commend you because I know a lot of sisters like you, they get flack for saying that you're bougie or you're standard or call you all kind of names. But I want to encourage you to keep on being you and doing what you do. I really enjoyed sharing this broadcast with you, and I hope to eventually meet you one day.
Thank you. I did enjoy being here and talking.
Yeah, your dog is messing up your mute and everything. But check this out, Josephine, before she go, I'm not gonna let her off the hook because she did kind of like your mic is going in and out. I can't hear you.
Okay, you care about you.
Your mic, yeah, your mic is jumping in and out, Letitia.
Giving back to our mentoring.
I couldn't hear nothing you said. Your mic broke up.
Very powerful.
Letitia?
Say it again. Hello?
Yeah, we're losing Letitia. Letitia, if you can hear me, we lost your mic.
I think it's frozen.
Yeah, you're freezing up. So I'm going to let you go. But listen, I'm not going to let you off the hook. Josephine, this is another one right here that's supposed to be on my back, in my side, helping me to get to where I need to be. But she got so busy trying to be educated and everything. She tried to get her degree.
Oh, me?
No, Letitia.
Oh.
So soon as she get her degree, she about to get her master's and everything. So I got to let her off the hook right there. Go get your master's and get everything together and you come back, jump on helping out Dynamic Dads, all right?
I sure will.
I'm proud of you, lady. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. All right. Thank you. Have a good
All
night.
right. Bye-bye. Yeah. So, I said, Joe, I'm not going to hold you up too much. I'm not going to keep you on the line too much longer. We've been going for a long time now. So, I'm going to let you jump out when you're ready. You can say what you got to say and you can jump out.
Okay, I just enjoyed sharing this little Zoom cast that we've had. I look forward to sharing many more with you. We got a lot to work to do, magnificent moms and dynamic dads. The world needs to look out for us. This has been a long time coming for us. We've been working on this for like, 3-4 years now. And the doors are finally opening. I'm just so excited. It's amazing how we can be in different states and the Lord is just connecting us all over to people all over. So I'm just excited, bro. I'm excited.
Hey, I'm ready to go. Like I told you, I'm just a blank canvas, and I'm ready to do what I got to do. I mean, I was born for this. So now here I am. The world, you got to deal with this because this brother ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I know. So dynamic dads, magnificent moms, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Twitter, Broadway. Look out for us.
Actually, you're talking a little too small. I'm talking about
House.
international. I'm talking about international. We about to go around the world. Yeah, we're going.
Yeah. We decree and declare it. So I just thank God for the favor that He's given us to do this work. And I thank God for the collaborative partners that are joining. I just thank God for the millions of souls, men, women, and children, for families being reconciled, restored. And, because the family unit is one of the 7 pillars of society. So I just thank God for giving us the grace to do what we're going to do.
Definitely. It's already been set in stone, set in edge, it's already been ordained what we have to do. So once again, this is Dynamic Dad with Magnificent Moms, and I want to thank everyone for listening and for viewing. And hopefully we're going to have, once a week or try to get a date set up so we can have more of these discussions on various different topics to help heal and deliver. All right. So we want to empower, encourage, and inspire others to be a better person so that our youth can see that the generation, we can change the narrative that's going on around us, and our youth won't continue to follow in our lines of deception, sort of say, thinking that they could continue to do whatever they want to do. There's no consequence to their actions. And then we want to blame somebody else for the troubles that we have around us. So once again, Dynamic Dads, and who's that over there?
Magnificent Moms.
That's right. So thank you guys. Have a good night. Talk to you soon, Joe.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye, Letitia.